There is a global pandemic nobody is talking about. It especially affects young women in their 20s and 30s, and it is devastating. I know all about it. I'm one of the victims. This pandemic is called lack of friendships. In my early 30s, I realized that I have lost all of my girlfriends in the process of building my adult life. I literally have no female to talk to except for my mom. That realization scared me, and I started asking myself, is there something wrong with me? But while looking for an answer, I discovered something unexpected. Maybe I wasn't failing at the friendships. Maybe I have been sold a completely wrong idea about what a female friendship is supposed to look like. If you too feel like everybody around has a perfect girlfriend circle while you are suffering from loneliness pandemic, this video is for you. First of all, I can't help but notice that male and female friendships are not the same. Hi, I'm John, and since childhood I was taught that brotherhood is everything. Girls come and go, but bros are for life. Hi, I'm Jane, and since childhood I was taught that the most important relationship in my life will be the relationship with my partner. Women are simply not taught to value their friendships as much as they are taught to value their romantic relationships. Since childhood we hear that the most important relationship we are going to have in our lives is our relationship with our partners. No doubt it is important, but nobody teaches us to value our girlfriends in the same way. Just look for relationship advice online and you will find millions of pieces of content about how to build a relationship, how to maintain a relationship, how to deal with conflicts in a romantic relationship. But how do we actually maintain our friendships? Maybe that's why so many female friendships disappear when one or both of the girlfriends or all of the girlfriends enter a romantic relationship, a serious relationship. Suddenly, there is no room for her friends in her life anymore. Her girlfriend becomes a hobby, something she does on the side after everything else of her responsibilities of her adult life, like her partner, her job, and so on, is done. A real person who you care for becomes a hobby. I think this is very wrong. She ignores her messages, she cancels the meetings, and friendship slowly deteriorates. Imagine your boyfriend behaved the same way. Imagine he stopped putting effort into your relationship. He doesn't call you. He doesn't check up on you. He cancels your meetings. He is constantly unavailable and constantly busy. Would you still call this a happy relationship? I guess not. For some reason, we expect a friendship to survive without any effort. It's just supposed to be there. And when we are at school or at university, it almost does, because the system creates the structure for us. It creates the environment where we are constantly together, where we constantly have something to talk about. But adult life is different. Nobody creates that structure anymore. And we were never taught that we are supposed to be proactive about our friendships. We are supposed to reach out, answer, initiate the meetings, and so on. And if we don't, the distance will grow more and more and the friendship will disappear. I think we all shall recognize that a friendship is a relationship between people, just like a romantic relationship or any other human relationship. And a human relationship doesn't survive without an effort. I'm John. When I think about real friends, I think about Joey and Chandler from Friends. Their friendship is for life, you can tell that. It survives even when they fall in love with the same girl. I'm Jane, and when I think about famous girlfriends, I immediately picture in the city. I wish I had such girls circle. They shop together, they have coffees, they chat. Do you ever think about the fact that the series ends just when all of them settle into long-term relationships? The way male and female friendships are portrayed in the media is also very different. Let's take Joey and Chandler from Friends, for example. Their friendship survives everything. At the end of the series, their lives are very, very different. Completely opposite, in fact. Chandler settles. He has a full-time job. He has a wife, Monica. They move to the suburbs. They have 2 children. Joey remains a bachelor. He moves to Los Angeles to pursue his acting career. And still, they remain to be the best friends. Monica recognizes the presence of Joey in their life. Monica, Chandler's wife, right? Even when they buy that house in the suburbs, they make sure there is a room for Joey in their house.
Of course, we have an apartment over the garage where Joey could grow old.
This is how male friendship is often portrayed on the screen. It is permanent, loyal. It's able to survive distance, marriages, life changes, and so on. When we think about female friendships, famous female friendships on screen, of course, immediately you tend to think about the girls from and the city. And at a first glance, their friendship seems incredibly close-knit. They're constantly together. They have breakfast every morning in a cafe, all four of them together. They go shopping. They discuss every aspect of their lives. Then we look at our own lives and ask ourselves, why don't I have that? Why can't I meet my girlfriend every morning? Why can't I go shopping with her every week? Why isn't she available all the time? Because most adult people don't have that kind of time. We have jobs, families, and so many responsibilities. Constant availability is not a marker of good friendship. Sometimes it's just a fantasy. And to be honest, when I was analyzing that friendship for this video, I realized that it looks almost like it's a male fantasy about what female friendship is supposed to be like. It's four girls who are gorgeous together, who are constantly having coffees and cocktails, who are shopping for high heels, have pajama parties, and have nothing to talk about but their romantic lives and men. Apparently, that's all women can do together. And then I noticed a very interesting thing. The story ends once all of them settle into permanent, serious relationships, as if there is nothing left to talk about, as if female friendship is something that exists to fill the void while she still didn't find that one and only partner. But female friendship is extremely important, maybe even more important for females than for males, I dare say. Because no matter how close you are with your partner or with your family, there are aspects of a female life that only a girlfriend can understand. A man will never understand what it's like to grow up as a girl, to be compared to other women, to have this constant pressure to deal with motherhood, fear, weight gain, appearance change, and so on. I genuinely believe that all females need a female circle, not just somebody you go shopping with, but somebody who understands certain aspects of your existence without having to break it down to them. Female friendship is not supposed to disappear once you found a partner. In fact, maybe that's when you need it even more. I'm Jane, and when I was 9, my mom forbade me to be friends with one girl from my school. She said that the girl was prettier, and when we would be older, she would be stealing my boyfriends. This is the hill I will die on. We as women are taught to compete with each other, and it's time to unlearn that. Every woman at some point in her life was compared to another female. Look how pretty this girl is. Look how she's dressing up. Look how good she is in academics. Look how good her marks are. Look how successful and accomplished she is, and so on. It is endless. As if our value is determined by how well we perform on certain markers. You know, this toxic way to evaluate a woman, she is 5 out of 10, 7 out of 10, and so on. You cannot apply this to a human being. In a way, I understand where this comes from. Up until the generation of our grandmothers, probably, how successful and prosperous life of a woman would be was determined by her partner. Finding a right man was everything, because that's how you got the resources from life. It determined how well supported your children will be. Naturally, when you are put in a situation like that, other women are seen as competition. This mindset still sits somewhere deep inside in our elder females, and they gave it to us. When you have this mindset, your girlfriend becomes the closest female to compare yourself to. The friendship might even thrive until both women feel like they are approximately the same. But once one of them starts outperforming the other, her success challenges the ego of her girlfriend. If she is getting married, if her relationship is very good, we start questioning our own relationships. If she gets a promotion, if she is successful in her career, we start questioning if we are doing the right thing. Her success begins to feel like a personal attack, like a proof that we are falling behind. She activates every insecurity we already had, and the distance grows more and more between the women until friendship deteriorates.
My life is so insane right now. I can't even. Are you okay? Yeah, no, I'm going to Portugal. It's only for 11 days, but
11 days? That's awesome.
yeah, I know.
But the girlfriend is not a marker to evaluate yourself by. She is a human being we care for. Her successes deserve to be celebrated, and when she is failing, she deserves our support. We shall stop seeing other women as competition, as marker of our worth or proof of our failure, and start seeing them as human beings to connect with, to support, to interact with. I'm Jane, and in my 20s, I lived in 3 different countries, and I changed, I think, 5 jobs. Before you start eating yourself away for not having enough friends, ask yourself these questions. Did I move away from my home country after I graduated college? Did I move a lot in my 20s? Did I change jobs frequently? What was happening in my life? Was I very busy maybe? Maybe that's why you lost your friends. And it was just a natural process, not a personal failure, because it's okay to lose connection with people we were close with in our teenage years. Unfortunately, sometimes when we grow into adults, we have nothing to talk to anymore. Let's normalize this process. We were sold the idea that adulthood comes with a permanent group of girlfriends. When we see online some circle of girls who are together since primary school, we feel like we failed because we don't have that. But actually, such relationships are extremely rare. Daily messages, constant contact, coffee dates, girls' trips, it belongs more to our teenage years than to adult years. Because that's when we were constantly close, physically close, when we had time for each other, when we had the same schedule and space in our lives to be together. Adult life is different, and it's a fact. We don't have as much time anymore. But again, I'm not asking you to make your friendship your hobby. That's very wrong. I'm telling you that if you want your friendship to survive, you have to put an effort. You have to consciously create space for it. Adult friendship is not impossible, but it's just less glamorous in a way. Sometimes it won't involve daily contact, daily coffee dates. It can be as much as reaching out once per week to ask how they are. Meeting for an hour because that's all you can manage. Bringing her dinner when she's sick. Adult closeness requires conscious mutual effort. I also think that we put too much pressure on one woman to be everything for us. We have this false idea that we might have that one best friend that can be everything for us. If we like coffee, she will like coffee. If we like going to yoga, she will go to yoga with us. Everything we discuss, everything we talk about, everything we do must be together, and we must understand each other in everything. But we don't expect that level of compatibility even from our romantic partners. It's okay that we can't give each other everything. I believe it's fine to have different people for different things. One woman can be for coffee days because that's what you both enjoy doing together. Another is for yoga. Another is for long, deep conversations. It's okay when you don't do everything together. You shall just find something where you can connect. I'm John. I work in a big company, and twice per week I play in an amateur football club. We all became buddies, and sometimes we even grab a drink after a game. I'm Jane, and I work from home. I'm also a wife and mother, and I have a very busy schedule. I just don't know where to meet new friends, and all of my existing friends seem to be busy with their lives. Having no friends is not a personal failure. Some people genuinely enjoy to have a small social circle or just one best friend, and that's okay. Some people lost a lot of friends because they had a lot of changes in their lives, and that also happens. But what if you do feel like something is missing? What if you wish you had at least one girlfriend to call to go out with, or to send a message at the end of the week? So the question becomes, where do you find her? Making friends as an adult is harder because nobody's creating that community for you. So if you want to make a friend, you have to be proactive. I had this experience once. I found a girl just randomly on Instagram. I was consuming her content, and she lived in the same city where I live. So I reached out to her and invited her out for a coffee. We went out and connected instantly, and that's how we became friends. Another way is to join some kind of a community you are interested in. I'm sure you've already heard this advice, but let's make it practical. Find one community you're genuinely interested with, like a book club, join it, go for at least 4 meetings, try to connect with some women that you like, and with time, ask them out and try to make an effort, try to make the first move. Adult friendships require courage because somebody has to make the first move, and sometimes that somebody has to be you. I wrote it down. That's a great idea. I actually think I will join a book club. I really love books. And also I will comment under this video. I'm sure there are a lot of girls like me. Maybe I will find a friend here. Great idea, Jane. Don't forget to follow this channel to join our female community, and comment below with your city and your name if you are looking for a friend. I can't guarantee that this video will perform very well on the platform, but you know what? It's in your hands. If you give me a thumbs up and comment under this video, it will be shown to more women you can be friends with. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. No, John, you can't be our friend. We are looking for girlfriends, not boyfriends. Jane is married, John. Gosh.